The morning sun filtered through our bedroom curtains as I reached for my phone, still warm from charging overnight. Rachel and I had been married for 8 years, and I thought I knew every nuance of her communication style. But the text that lit up my screen felt like words from a stranger. "You're not coming on the cruise." Not a question. Not an invitation to discuss. A statement, cold and final. I sat up in bed, reading it 3 times. The cruise to the Caribbean had been our plan for months, a second honeymoon to reconnect after a year of growing distance. I'd taken time off work, arranged everything. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, then stopped. Something in those 5 words carried a weight that made my stomach turn. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Walking downstairs, I noticed things I'd been too blind to see. The way she'd been staying late at work meetings for the past 6 months. How her phone was always face down now. The new perfume. The gym membership she suddenly couldn't live without, despite never being athletic before. I made coffee with shaking hands and opened my laptop. Our bank accounts, the joint ones, showed a pattern I'd ignored. Expensive dinners at restaurants we'd never been to together. Hotel charges in the city, when she'd said she was visiting her sister upstate. Cash withdrawals, always on Thursdays. Thursday. Her late meeting day. The coffee turned bitter in my mouth as I logged into her email. We'd always shared passwords, back when we shared everything. There it was. Cruise confirmation for 2. Cabin upgrade. Champagne package. But the second name wasn't mine. David. David from her office. The one she'd mentioned casually over dinner a few times. Just a colleague, she'd said, laughing when I joked about him. I sat there as the morning light grew harsh and unforgiving, reading through months of messages. Their affair wasn't just physical. They'd built a whole relationship in the shadows of my marriage. They had inside jokes. Plans. A future that didn't include me. The rage came slowly, then all at once. Not the hot, explosive kind, but something colder. Calculating. I looked around our house, the house we'd bought together, dreamed in together, made love in countless times. The kitchen where she'd kiss my neck while I cooked Sunday breakfast. The living room where we'd danced barefoot to old records. The bedroom where just 3 weeks ago, she'd whispered "I love you" against my chest after intimate moments that I'd thought meant something. It all felt like a lie now, a stage set for a play that had ended without anyone telling me. By 8 a.m., I'd made my decision. If Rachel wanted to cruise into her new life, I'd make sure she had nothing to come back to. I'd always been methodical. It's what made me good at my job as a financial analyst. Now, that same precision would dismantle the life Rachel thought she could abandon while keeping one foot in the door. First call, Tom Henderson, a real estate investor I'd met at a conference last year. He'd given me his card, said to reach out anytime. It was 8:15 a.m. "Tom, it's James Mitchell. Remember that conversation we had about off-market deals? I've got one for you." Our house was worth $650,000, easily. In this market, probably more.
Now,
Tom could have it for $580,000, cash, if he could close by noon. I could hear his surprise through the phone, then his greed winning out. That's aggressive timing, James. I'm motivated. Very motivated. Give me 2 hours. While Tom worked his magic, I called our lawyer. Well, my lawyer now. Richard Payne had handled our wills and the house purchase. He knew me as the careful one, the planner. "Richard, I need to sell the house today." "Yes, today. Rachel's having an affair, and I'm removing myself from the situation entirely. Can you handle the paperwork?" The legal system moves slowly, except when you're willing to pay for speed and the situation is straightforward. Our house was in both names, but I had Rachel's power of attorney, something we'd set up years ago for convenience. She'd signed it at my request, trusting me completely. That trust was about to cost her everything. I started packing. Not everything, just what mattered. Photos of my parents, gone now for 3 years. My father's watch. Books that had been mine before the marriage. Clothes. My laptop and documents. Everything fit into 4 large suitcases and 3 boxes. The rest, all the furniture we'd picked out together, the wedding china, the expensive espresso machine she'd insisted on, could stay or go. I didn't care. By 10 a.m., Tom was at the door with his lawyer and a cashier's check. Richard arrived 5 minutes later. The house had equity of about $400,000 after the mortgage. Split evenly, that was $200,000 each. I'd take my half and leave her with nothing but the knowledge that I'd acted while she was busy planning her betrayal. You're sure about this? Richard asked quietly while Tom's lawyer reviewed documents. I've never been more sure of anything. We signed papers in the dining room where Rachel and I had hosted dinner parties, where we'd celebrated anniversaries. Where, just last month, she'd held my hand across the table and told me she was grateful for our life together. The irony wasn't lost on me. At 11:30, my phone buzzed. Rachel, James, we need to talk. Can you call me? Too late for talking now. By noon, the house was sold, the money transferred, and I was loading my car. Tom's renovation crew was already pulling up as I drove away. I checked into a hotel downtown, one of those extended stay places where no one asks questions. The room was anonymous, impersonal, perfect. I sat on the generic bed and finally called Rachel back. James, where are you? I've been trying to reach you. I got your text. About the cruise. Silence. Then, carefully, look, I can explain. You're going with David. You've been sleeping with him for 6 months. You've been planning this cruise for 2 months. Did I miss anything? More silence. I could picture her face, the way her jaw would tighten when caught in something. How did you? How did I figure out that my wife is having an affair? Rachel, you weren't exactly subtle. Thursday night meetings. The hotel charges. The new lingerie I never saw you wear. My voice was cold, detached. What I want to know is why you didn't just ask for a divorce. Why the games? It's not like that. James, David, and I. It just happened. But I do love you. I was confused. I needed time to think, and the cruise was supposed to give me space to figure things out. Space. You wanted space. I laughed, surprising myself with how bitter it sounded. Well, you've got it now. All the space you could want. What does that mean? I sold the house this morning. Closed at noon. Your half of the equity will be transferred to your account within 48 hours, minus my share of the joint expenses you've been hiding. You, what? James, you can't just sell our house. Actually, I can. Power of attorney, remember? You signed it. It's legal. Richard confirmed everything. The house is gone, Rachel. Tom Henderson owns it now, and is already gutting the kitchen. I could hear her breathing, fast and panicked. This is insane. That's our home. You can't just. Where are you even going to live? That's not your concern anymore. You want it out? You're out. Completely. James, please. Let's talk about this face to face. I'm flying back tonight. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice when you booked that cruise with him. When you let him touch you. When you lied to me every single day for 6 months. My voice cracked slightly on that last part, the anger finally breaking through the ice.
It's gonna be okay.
Did you think about me at all, Rachel? When you were with him? Did you think about our wedding vows? About the night we bought that house? How we made love on the floor because the furniture hadn't arrived yet? Did any of it mean anything? She was crying now. Of course it did. It does. James, I made a mistake. Mistakes are accidental. This was a choice. Every Thursday was a choice. Every lie was a choice. She showed up at the hotel that night. I don't know how she found me. Probably called every hotel in the city until one confirmed my reservation. I heard the knock and knew immediately it was her. Some things, even betrayal can't erase. When I opened the door, she looked terrible. Eyes red, makeup smeared, still wearing the clothes she'd worn on the plane. For a moment, I felt something like sympathy. Then I remembered David. The cruise. The lies. Can I come in? I stepped aside. She entered slowly, looking around the sparse room like it was a crime scene. This is where you're staying. For now. She sat on the edge of the bed, the only place to sit besides the small desk chair. I stayed standing, keeping distance between us. James, I'm so sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I need you to know. How long have you been sleeping with him? She flinched. Does it matter? Yes. 6 months. It started at the company retreat in March. March. We'd celebrated our 8th anniversary in February. She'd given me a watch, told me she wanted 8 more years, then 80 more after that. 1 month later, she was in David's bed. Did you love him? She looked at her hands. I thought I did. I don't know. He made me feel exciting again, like I was someone new. With you, everything was so comfortable, predictable. Comfortable, I repeated. Our marriage was comfortable, so you destroyed it. That's not fair. Fair. I stepped closer, voice rising. You want to talk about fair? Was it fair when you let me plan this anniversary trip while you were planning to bring someone else? Was it fair when you came home from being with him and let me hold you, touch you, make love to you while you were thinking about him? I wasn't. Don't lie to me anymore, Rachel. Please. Whatever else happens, just stop lying. She broke then, sobbing into her hands. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I want to fix this. Please, James. We can go to counseling. Start over. I'll end things with David. You think I could ever trust you again? I shook my head. Every time you're late, every time your phone buzzes, every time you say you're going somewhere, I'd wonder. I'd question. That's not a marriage. That's a prison. So that's it? 8 years, gone. You ended our marriage 6 months ago. I'm just making it official. She stood, moving toward me. James, please. I stepped back. Don't. But she kept coming, reaching for me. Just let me show you. Let me prove that I still love you. Her hands were on my chest, then sliding up to my neck. I could smell her perfume, the new one, the one she'd worn for him. I caught her wrists, gently but firmly, and stepped back. No, Rachel. That's not going to happen. Why not? We've always been good together. You can't tell me you don't still want me. Want and trust are different things. And even if I did want you, I'd spend the whole time wondering if you were comparing me to him. Wondering if you were thinking about him. That's not intimacy. That's torture. She pulled away, wrapping her arms around herself. So you're just going to throw everything away? Our whole life together? I'm not throwing it away. You already did that. I'm just accepting reality. I moved to the window, looking out at the city lights. You know what the worst part is? It's not even the affair. It's that you were going to keep lying. If I hadn't found out, you would have gone on that cruise, come back, and pretended everything was fine. How long would you have let that go on? She didn't answer. I deserve better than that, Rachel. I deserve someone who chooses me every day, not someone who's with me because it's convenient while she explores other options. That's not what it was. That's exactly what it was. I turned to face her. Go on your cruise with David. See if what you have with him can survive reality instead of just stolen moments. But leave me out of it. File for divorce whenever you're ready. I won't contest it. Take your half of the money and build whatever life you want. Just build it without me. She stared at me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. That's the interesting part. For the first time in days, I felt something like excitement. I've spent 8 years building a life with you. Maybe it's time I figure out who I am on my own. She moved toward the door, paused with her hand on the knob. For what it's worth, I did love you. I do love you. I just got lost somewhere along the way. I know. But love isn't enough when there's no trust. No respect. After she left, I sat in the silence for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and started searching. Not for another hotel, but for something bigger. A change. The next morning, I withdrew my share of the house money and bought a one-way ticket on the Trans-Siberian Railway. 6 days from Moscow to Vladivostok, across 7 time zones. I'd always wanted to take that journey, but Rachel had never been interested. Too long, she'd said. Too unpredictable. Perfect. I spent the next week settling affairs. Quit my job. They were surprised but understanding. Sold my car. Put everything in storage except what would fit in one large backpack. Signed the divorce papers Rachel's lawyer sent over. On a Tuesday morning, I stood at the train station with a single bag and a one-way ticket to everywhere and nowhere. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry I couldn't be the person you deserved. I typed back, I hope you find yourself too. Goodbye, Rachel. Then I turned off my phone and boarded the train. As Moscow's skyline disappeared behind me, I felt something I hadn't felt in months, free. The future was uncertain, undefined, completely mine. No shared plans. No compromises. No lies. Just me, a train full of strangers, and thousands of miles of possibility ahead. I didn't know where I'd end up or who I'd become. But for the first time in 8 years, I was excited to find out. The rails stretched endlessly before me, leading somewhere new, somewhere honest, somewhere I could be myself without wondering if that self was enough. Rachel had her cruise. Her new life with David or whoever came next. And I had this, a journey with no destination, no expectations, and no one to answer to but myself. It was enough. More than enough. It was everything.